In a nice neighborhood in upstate New York, in a nice house like the ones you know, behind closed doors, a father commands his 13-year-old son to pick up a camera and start recording.
Look at me, bitch. You play those stupid games with me, I'll knock your teeth out of your face.
The father delivers a verbal flogging to the mother in front of their children.
You act like a in front of the kids.
It will go on for nearly an hour.
You little slut.
If I see a dog trim your ass up, I won't stop. I won't stop.
It is domestic abuse, the kind we hear about but often don't believe.
I don't want to see your stupid ass crooked self. Stupid ass heifer.
Susan is 42 years old. They have 3 children. The father, Ulner, directs his 13-year-old son, the cameraman, to get a close-up of their emotionally battered mother.
Zoom in. Do you see a tear?
Nah.
Not a tear out of that damn face.
Well, I got that.
He indicates he wants the tape to prove that his anger at his wife is justified. What prompts his tirade? Susan asks him if he'd like some lunch.
She come over here with this stupid
Yeah.
and stir it up. No, and you didn't leave. You didn't just come ask me about lunch.
He even makes his 13-year-old son join him in blaming her.
You enjoy getting your ass whooped because that's obvious. Yes, you do.
Because you know if you wrote it, you do it anyway.
You do it anyway.
And if you're wondering what kind of woman would endure something like this if you're certain she's nothing like you, well, take a look at Susan on tape 3 years ago and look at the woman she really is today.
What do you see when you look at her?
A woman desperately trying to save whatever she can salvage of her family, desperately trying to please her husband and do whatever it is that he wants her to do.
According to a Department of Justice survey, 1 in 4 American women experience domestic violence. For Susan, the story begins when she is 18 years old, the daughter of a black father, a white mother, who falls in love with a 26-year-old guitarist in a popular local band. He is talented, charismatic. His name is Ulner.
I would go to see him play on the weekends, and we'd talk on the phone, and we just sort of grew to know each other.
Did you say to yourself, I'm happy?
Absolutely.
They got married. He worked as a musician, she with a health insurance company. And they had their 3 children. We're covering their faces at her request.
Everyone looks at you, and I know the first thing they would think is, so beautiful, so intelligent. You must have been able to take care of yourself in any situation.
I was shy. I was very green. You know, my world was absolutely inside of the walls of our home.
She says at first her husband was just very demanding and controlling, not so different from her own father, whom she described as overbearing. But she says the more she tried to comply with her husband's demands, the more obsessive his control.
Did you have friends over for dinner?
Never. He never wanted friends over. He never wanted men in his house in particular.
And your father and stepfather didn't know about this?
My husband had cut me off from my father and family for many years.
How you gonna say something stupid like that?
And you can hear on the videotape how his badgering, his criticism wore her down by twisting her words.
When I was watching my son do something, and he said, "Don't look at him like you're interested in what he's doing." And I said, "I think I am interested in what my children do."
I think I'm interested in my children.
And he turned that into, "I think I'm interested in what my children do."
So you can think you care about your children, whatever you want to think you care about. You don't.
And then he turned it into, "I think I love my children." All in the same conversation. That phrase turned into something totally different.
Stupid ass heifer.
In that 51-minute tape, Ulner calls Susan stupid 36 times.
And just you standing there talking stupid like that pisses me off. Because you should be on your knees apologizing to you stupid ass heifer.
The rants.
Yes, the mental and verbal abuse, just hours. I mean, he would call it a family meeting. And these family meetings were all about what mommy did wrong today. He totally had my children completely on his side, completely brainwashed. Not only could I not believe his behavior, but I couldn't believe my own children's behavior.
She says the verbal abuse had gone on for years before the words became fists. She says the first time he hit her, it was because she forgot something he wanted at a nearby grocery store. Her oldest child, her daughter, was 19.
He beat me down to the floor. I was crawling on the floor trying to get away. I remember my daughter turning on the vacuum cleaner so that my younger children couldn't hear it.
You know more what's going on at work than in your own house.
At the time of the tape, she was working, he was not. He was jealous of men on the outside.
And this got to do with somebody at work.
It does not. I don't have anyone.
Heifer lying ass.
I can't tell you how many baseball coaches I was accused of, swimming teachers, karate teacher, other parents, anything.
Video this lying ass heifer.
But her greatest agony was the role of her children.
When you think your son was on the other side of that lens.
Not only that, my younger son was right there also.
He was in the room.
Their youngest son, 8 years old.
Sit your stupid ass on that thing.
June 22, 2003, terrifying images of physical abuse. The kind the experts say takes place every 15 seconds someplace in this country. The difference is, this is caught on video.
You don't know what to do. Look at your stupid ass. Look at the way you look.
Behind the camera, a 13-year-old boy watching his mother slapped, slugged, and throttled by his father.
You keep playing game with me, I'm gonna knock your head across that wall.
At one point, for nearly 3 minutes, the son seems unable to record what the father is doing. He keeps the lens facing away toward his own feet.
You follow what I say to the T.
The terrified mother, Susan, covers her face while the father, Ulner, strangles her, throws her to the floor.
You have a stupid ass nerve about your stupid ass self. And you don't learn after I beat your ass all the time. You do not learn.
When you look back, are you amazed you didn't crack in some other way?
Absolutely. The only thing that kept me from cracking was the thought of my children.
Why didn't you leave?
A lot of it is preservation of family. I didn't want to see my family destroyed. And in my eyes, because of what he was telling me, I was the problem. So all I had to do was fix me.
On average, it will take 7 tries for a woman to leave her abuser. The psychological chains as strong as any metal.
He had literally, physically and mentally beat me down to nothing. I thought I was not as good as a piece of dirt on his shoe. And that's a place that is hard to come out of.
I remember saying to her, it's got to stop. It ends here.
I looked at her and I said, today's the day. Once I said to Lynn, that was it, she said, okay, I'm calling. And went and did it immediately.
With the help of police over the next few hours, she ran a heart-pounding race against the clock. Since her husband patrolled every minute of her day, she had to get to the children before he did, and before he made an irrational move. Officer Kathy Onions.
We decided to have Susan call the residence and speak to her husband to reassure him that she picked up the son as she was instructed to. We wanted to document what his response was to this conversation and, and have it on a tape.
Hello, honey.
Where are you?
I'm afraid to come home. I'm afraid to come home.
You stupid ass heifer. What you mean you're afraid to come home? You better bring my son home. If you don't bring my son home, I'm gonna kill you, heifer.
I don't want you to hurt me.
What
I'm
are
afraid
you?
to come home.
In the end, Ulner is found guilty on all counts. The judge, who will never forget that searing tape, hands down a sentence of 36 years.
The videotape is it's terrible. And as you can see, it still gets to me.
According to the prosecutor, the sentence would be the longest in New York history for a domestic violence case in which the victim managed to stay alive.
People say you get murder convictions if they don't have that kind of sentence.
What the judge said at sentencing was, you have destroyed this family as much, if not more, than if you had committed a murder.
It was an unusual case and it required some unusual punishment.
That's it. Okay, don't press that, okay? Okay, don't press that button. Leave it. Hold the phone up. Now hold the phone. Hold it like that. Okay, you got it? Don't press that button.
Hey, red? Not red. Dragonfly not getting.
Hold it up. Hold my phone up.
I push your button.
No.
I ain't pushing it.
Don't push it.
You're only dumb. Oh well. Look here, I just did. No, here.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a video to show y'all how do you know when your Jordans are fake. Because my friend came over to my house and said his Jordans were real, but I thought otherwise. First, you can look in the back of it. It has to have 4 fingers. 4. And if it has 5 fingers or more, your Jordans are fake. See, these are real. Went to Foot Locker and got them. I was wondering if they were fake because that. But I looked it up and they said as long as they got 4 fingers right here, they're good. So, just wanted to give y'all a heads up. Hey guys, I wanted to show you how to get Flow on Our World. First you type in test mode 42. It's gonna pop up as it's full of stars or something. And then that. And then as you can see, it gave me 7 flows.